Well, hello students. Are you ready to break your teeth on the granite of science? Today's going to be hot. Today, we will teach our character to shoot in all 8 directions. And for this we do not have enough spawn points that will spawn bullets. Let's increase their number to 8 because, in the end, we'll have shooting in 8 directions. Forward, backward, left, and right. And 4 additional directions, diagonally between the primaries. We need to duplicate the spawn points while simultaneously rotating it around the character. For this purpose, we'll use the 3D cursor at the center of the cube. Switch the transformation pivot to the 3D cursor. Select the empty. Press Shift, D, then R, and rotate it by 45 degrees. Now repeat this last action 6 more times. All the new empty will be attached to the cube and have their directions along the local y-axis. The bullets, after spawning, will inherit the rotation angles and fly in the desired direction. Let's rename all the spawn points right away. The primary directions will have names like spawn point, R, B, L. The intermediate directions will have two letters at the end of their names. For example, the upper right corner, spawn point F, R. Its mean front, right. Lower right corner, B, R. Bottom left, B, L. Upper left, F, L. Let's move on to the code. Open the player shoot branch. It may seem simple, and all we need to do is copy this section of code 3 times. Change the keys and spawn points, and everything will work. In principle, that's how it is, but it won't be perfect because if we press one key, it looks good. But if we press 2, 3, or all 4 keys simultaneously, then we'll be shooting in multiple directions at once. We need to somehow prevent shooting from different points simultaneously. In the algorithm, we can formulate our task roughly like this. We will only shoot forward if the forward key is pressed, and the other keys must not be pressed. Yes. We need to check the state of the 4 keys. Remember how the state channel works on the keyboard block? It outputs true when a key is pressed and false when the key is not pressed. We will use this mechanism in our condition. This time, the condition will be a bit more complicated. Let's remove the branch block and get the gate block. Select the comparison operator, AND. Using the new button, add 2 more slots. In this configuration, the block will only trigger if all 4 inputs have a value of true. We will be checking the state of 4 keys, so let's duplicate the keyboard block and select all the required keys. Right now, we are implementing shooting forward, so we need to confirm that only the forward key is pressed. To do this, we also need to confirm that the other keys are not pressed. We can achieve this using the Boolean invert block. Insert 3 of these blocks after the keys for backward, left, and right. Here's what we get. If we press the forward key, we get true on the first input, and the other keys provide a value of false, which we invert into true, resulting in 4 out of 4 true values. This is necessary for the true output to trigger and spawn a bullet. Let's consider another example. Press 2 keys simultaneously, forward and backward. Pressing the forward key will result in a true value on the first input. Pressing the backward key will also yield true, but after the invert block, the value will change to false. If there is at least one false value at the gate block, it won't trigger, and the bullet won't spawn. Let's run the game and try pressing the buttons. Now you can only shoot when a single key is pressed. The forward arrow key works. If we simultaneously press any other direction with it, the shooting stops. Now we just need to add 3 more directions using the same scheme. Let's go back to the code. Select this group of nodes. Add a frame around them. Color it in some way. And add a label, front. Copy the frame along with its content 3 times and arrange them vertically. Move to the first copy. Change the label to back. Now delete the invert block for the backward key. Create a copy for the forward key. You can delete a block without breaking the connection by pressing Ctrl X. The last thing to change in this frame is the spawn point. Delete the current one and choose the one from the back with the label point B. Let's move on to the next frame. Change the label to left. Change the spawn point to the left one. Invert the state of all keys except the left arrow key. The last frame, labeled right. Set the spawn point to the right one. Invert all blocks except the right arrow key. Start the game and carefully check all 4 keys. They should trigger correctly. One at a time. Key combinations should not yield results. Now select all 4 frames with the 4 directions, duplicate them, and place them to the right. We need to set up diagonal shooting in them. Enlarge the first frame. Change the label to top right. Remove the invert block from the right arrow key and change the spawn point to the top right. The next frame, labeled back right. Keep the invert only on the forward and left keys. Set the spawn point to the bottom right. The following frame is associated with the back left corner. Make the corresponding changes. The last frame is for the top left corner. Well, that's it, I think. Start the game and check all 8 directions. If everything is working, you're doing great. Let's optimize our code a bit. Now, in our branch, we have a total of 8 on-timer blocks. Let's go ahead and delete all of them except for one. The very first one. Select it, press Alt-P to detach it from the group, and move it slightly to the side. Then, we'll route all the checks through it using routers and snapping. Arrange everything neatly and uniformly. Once you've achieved the final aesthetic touch, you can run the game again just to be sure that everything is working. Sometimes, while tidying things up, you can make mistakes that debugging won't fix later. Now, you can take a break. Behave yourselves. See you soon. Goodbye for now.